This is Dan White with my review of the Miami and Texas A&M game on Saturday night, September the 17th. Today is September the 19th. This is Dan White reporting from College Station, Texas, down in South Texas. A huge crowd of 110,000 has gathered with millions more watching by television to watch this heavyweight fight. In the orange corner and wearing white trunks from Miami, Florida, is Mario Cristobal. In the maroon corner and wearing black trunks is challenger Jimbo Fisher from Clarksville, West Virginia. Round one begins. The foes exchange hard blows. I've never seen such hard blows like this. An uppercut, a jab, a left hook that knocks Cristobal to the ropes. He's staggered. He gets his breath and lays into Fisher. Left, right, left. But Jimbo maintains his balance. The bell sounds, and it's the end of round one. It appears that Jimbo has a slight advantage. Round two begins. It's hard fought, and neither man can gain an advantage. Now it's on to the third round. Jimbo smashes a hard right, knocking Cristobal to the mat. The referees count 1, 2, 3, 4. Cristobal wobbles and slowly gets up, and the fight continues. Cristobal lands a gut punch that knocks the breath out of Jimbo, and at the end of the third round, it's the maroon 17 and the orange 6. With one round to go, Cristobal is determined to close the gap. The fighting is ferocious. The deficit narrows to 8 points. Victory is within reach. Can Mario make a dramatic comeback and put the despised Jimbo away? 110,000 Maroons sit on the edge of their seat. The suspense causes them to stand as one. At full throat, you can't hear anything. There's 48 seconds left. 48 precious seconds. 47, 46, 45. Mario makes a last grasp effort. He throws a punch that hits nothing but air. Jimbo clinches. 6, 5, 4. Mario can't get free. 3, 2, 1. Game over. And the Maroons win. Celebrations erupt in College Station, and a dark cloud of disappointment sends shadows over Miami. Cristobal leads his team to the waiting bus that takes them to the plane for the long flight to Miami. Miami is banged up and bruised, but will recover and live to fight another day. Resolute, determined, and committed to achieve their goals of an ACC Coastal and an ACC championship. They hit the green tree practice field, putting the loss behind them and focusing on their next game with undefeated Middle Tennessee State. Now here's some statistics from Saturday's game. Miami had 27 first downs to A&M 16. In rushing, Miami had 175 yards rushing. They averaged 4.9 yards a rush. A&M had 125 yards rushing and averaged 3.9. How's that for a stout Miami defense? Henry Parrish Jr. led the way for Miami in rushing with 85 yards. He averaged an astonishing 5.3 yards per carry against an A&M defense that is stout. Jalen Knighton followed with 77 yards. He averaged 5.5 yards. And our big bruiser, Thad Franklin, he only got one carry for -1 yards. A&M's Devon Archain, which was the goal stated before the game to keep him in check, was held to only 88 yards rushing with a 4.9 average and zero touchdowns. Whew. That's a mighty good defense, if you ask me. He did have a 36-yard kick return because Borregales didn't stick it in the end zone. In passing, Miami had 217 yards to A&M's 140. Now, there were a lot of drop passes. They should have stuck some Gorilla Glue on those wide receivers' gloves. It was just painful to watch. TVD would put it right in there, and there were so many drop passes. And there were some missed tackles by Miami. And I watched the replay and I watched the game, and I just couldn't see any missed tackles from A&M. In fact, there were a lot of solo tackles. In total yards for the game, Miami had 392. A&M had 264. Miami was between the 20s. They just couldn't stick it in the end zone. They couldn't capitalize in the red zone. Miami had 3 third down and 15 in the red zone late in the game or early in the game. Coach Josh Gaddis calls for a run for, I believe it was, the Rooster. I believe he was the one that got the call. He picks up 11 yards. And many pundits and fans, the pundits that I've watched on YouTube and fans, are criticizing Gaddis for calling a run with such long yardage to pick up, 3rd and 15. But that call, in my opinion, was brilliant. Here's why. Gaddis saw that A&M was in a prevent defense. Their defensive backs had gone and lined up right close to the end zone or maybe a few yards within the end zone. The right guard for Miami pulled. Knighton had 5 blockers, count them, 5 blockers in front of him, and would have scored the touchdown had not an A&M defender dove and tripped him up. Now, it's easy to be a Monday morning coach and to criticize Mario Cristobal, and Josh Gaddis, and TVD. In turnovers, Miami had 1. That was on that fumbled punt that cost us a touchdown. That was the difference, in my opinion. It set A&M up for practically an automatic TD. And then we got behind 10-3 and could never catch up. But driving the ball late in the 4th quarter, we had a lot of momentum going, but ran out of downs with about 40 seconds left to play. Ball game. Our defense sacked A&M 3 times. Our strong offensive line kept A&M from sacking TVD. They had 0 sacks. How's that? That's a real strong, stout offensive line. In time of possession, Miami won that one. 34 minutes and 20 seconds to A&M's 25 minutes and 40 seconds. Lou Hadley had 3 punts. Oh, thank God for Lou Hadley. He had 1 inside the 20, and his long was 50 yards. His punt average was 49. We won the statistics. We won the statistics, but we lost the game. I believe many fans are overreacting, as well as the pundits. They're overreacting about Gaddis and Cristobal and TVD. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now. 3 games is not enough for a fair evaluation. A fair evaluation will come after 6 games. Before the game, Miami was ranked 13th, and a victory against A&M would have surely put them in the top 10. A&M was ranked 24. I had predicted, especially after Appalachian State beat A&M, that Miami would win 31-10. Well, I was wrong. So we'll see what happens this week, and we'll look forward to the Middle Tennessee game at Hard Rock Stadium on this Saturday. I'll have a preview of that game coming up on YouTube later this week. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you. And go Canes!
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us. We'll start with an opening statement from head coach Mario Cristobal and go into questions.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Again, after watching tapes, a lot of what we talked about after the game in terms of assessing the performance, a lot of stuff showed up in a positive manner in terms of competing, in terms of playing well at the line of scrimmage and handling the environment. And then the stuff that didn't show up very well was miscues on special teams in the red zone, some penalties, and obviously a costly turnover. That being said, addressed it in practice today and started taking our preparation towards our opponent this week in Middle Tennessee, a team that's obviously done really well offensively and been very disruptive defensively. So that being said, questions please. We wanted to establish a run and protect the quarterback. Quarterback got hit 5 times, but didn't get sacked. We sacked their quarterback 3 times. We hit him 12 times. So there's progress there. We also had some penalties that hurt us down in the red zone that put us behind the 6 for a little bit. But again, there's progress. It's not where we want to be, but in terms of matching intensity and matching physicality, there's definitely progress. Coach things better. I don't think you point a finger at anybody. That's not our program. It's not what we do. You own it completely as an organization. And so collectively, we have to come up with a better way to score points. Yep, we hurt ourselves with penalties. There might have been a miscue here and there, but all in all, we just got to take it entirely as an offense and get better.
There were obviously drops in the game, and from that and beyond, receivers and having to fill the void for X being out.
Yeah, we threw the ball 41 times. I think there were 21 completions. We had, I think, 6 or 7 drops. It wasn't all the wide receivers. But it's something that, we've been working on. It's not like it goes by the wayside. It's not like you correct it by saying catch the ball. There's been a lot of work, a lot of time invested in it. We're not getting all the results that we want yet. There has been some progress in some areas. Not having Xavier Restrepo is obviously very, he's a very productive player, and in more ways than one, he's excellent for culture as well. And he drives that room, and in his absence, we have to find a way to elevate the entire room, our level of play, our culture, our intensity, and our level of performance. So that's on all of us as an organization.
How do you feel Tyler is settling into this new offense through only 3 games now?
I think he's done pretty well. I do, and I think we have to do continue to improve the supporting cast. I think we're starting to protect well. Game 2 we didn't protect very well. Game 1 was very productive. Game 2 had its moments. Game 3 had its moments. We got to do a better job overall as coaches and as players to make sure that we give the quarterback the best chance to be successful. I'm going to demand more of the entire wide receiver room, but we're going to help coach them and elevate them. I don't think you just sit back and say, hey, you guys got to do better. That's not it. It's our job, everyone in this organization, to help elevate that group, to make sure that the type of performance that we want to demand of that group is accompanied by encouragement, is accompanied by technique and fundamental work and practice reps that lead to a better result. So obviously we're counting on everybody in that room to get better. Well, it's real simple. You better get over it. I mean, if you're affected by all the outside noise, you're going to have a tough time in this profession, right? This profession is very thankless and could be rough if you let the outside noise get to you. He's young, and I think he wants to do well. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not mad at him. I'm disappointed for him. I know he's disappointed in terms of that. He is improving tremendously, and the only disappointment would be if a guy like that doesn't go out and spend every waking moment in the film room and every waking moment catching extra footballs, because that's always made players at Miami a lot better, right? Guys that invest time and do their work. He's a good person. He's a talented player. He's growing. He is young. We put a lot on him in the absence of Restrepo, and he's handled some of it really well, and the rest we got to help him get better at.
Yeah, we beat ourselves, you know. Obviously, a great team we played. They have a great defense. Did a great job of keeping us out of the end zone, you know. But yeah, we gotta be better in the red zone. We gotta score. I mean, we had so many opportunities to do so. You know, we just gotta get better from it, and we're gonna go back to work. People out there, I mean, at no time I was rattled or felt like the crowd got to me at all. I mean, we moved the ball. We just gotta finish in the red zone. We gotta score touchdowns, and kicking field goals is not gonna do it. It's not gonna. I mean, it'll help us win games, but we got to get the ball in the end zone. 6 points is better than 3. So.
Tyler, obviously, you know, haven't had a chance to watch any film or anything like that yet, but just your first impressions are what are some of the things that you think you need to do better?
You know, I gotta be a little more accurate. Certain times.
Why is this stuff? I mean, honestly, it wasn't a big deal. You feel me? It was normal. All throughout the week, we practiced with crowd noise in the indoor, outside. So, I mean, it wasn't that bad. It felt like back at Green Tree.
Guys are playing well. You know, there's just mistakes and execution stuff that we have to clean up. You know, coming to a place like this, I mean, this is one of the coolest places I've ever played. You know, so I don't think the atmosphere or anything was too big for us at all. I thought guys did well, handled it well. We just got to execute and finish.
16, he's slow developing play. Van Dyke looking to the sideline. Play clock at 7. We're going to have to really hurry or spend a timeout here. They just snap it. It's Knighton making a cut and diving down to the 10.
I like it.
Make a switch to a run, Kirk. They don't make the first down, but it sets up a short field goal try. Second-year kicker. And he makes it 21 of 25. He's going to be a rolled R or 2 from the opening possession. You fake it to A-Chain, pressure, and Johnson will be swarmed and sacked by that Miami pass rush.
This is Dan White. Thanks so much for watching, and go Kings.